taking us on. This third session is none other than Christiana Adeoye, and she will be taking us on delivering the requirements and delivering the business solutions. That's the topic in our business analysis class for today. Christiana is a business analyst with over 5 years of experience in business analysis, information security management systems, business continuity management systems, enterprise architecture, and project management, Prince 2. She has worked across multiple sectors, leveraging globally recognized frameworks to drive strategic alignment, improve operational efficiency, and support digital transformation. Christina specializes in analyzing business needs, defining system requirements, and implementing resilient solutions that meet both business and compliance objectives. She is passionate about helping organizations build secure, agile, and sustainable operations through structured analysis and effective stakeholders engagement. She is currently contributing to enterprise-wide projects that integrate security, continuity, and performance. Christiana is committed to continuous improvement and excellence in delivery. Ladies and gentlemen, with a resounding round of applause, can we welcome our third trainer for today, Christiana Adeoye. Christiana, you are welcome. It's good to have you again. Please, you can take it up from here.
Good afternoon, Mercy. Good afternoon, everyone on this call. Please confirm that you can hear me. Confirm that I'm audible.
Yes, ma'am, we can hear you. You're welcome, Christiana. Welcome.
Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot. It's a pleasure to be here with us once again. And I know that we've been getting a lot of value from all the sessions so far. All right, so before, I'll just share my screen and then get into the business of today. Okay, I think I'm able to. So let me know when you can see my screen. Please confirm that you can see my screen.
Not yet. It's coming up.
Okay.
I can see your screen.
Oh,
right.
The thing at the Madam Shola number is supposed to send me the PP don't they active.
I think you might need to mute someone. Okay. All right. Good afternoon once again. And I hope that we've been having a great time so far on this sessions. So today I have a topic before me. The topic is simply, what does delivering requirements mean? What does delivering requirements mean? So first of all, as a business analyst, I must have defined this several different times. That you are a change leader in an organization. You are there to discover the needs and then turn these needs into requirements and then turn them into solutions such that you're able to provide value. And this value will be in terms of improvements, either improvements in your processes or maybe by implementing a solution. So before you say you are even making these changes, these positive changes in a business, you must know what they need. You must know what is missing. You must know the blank areas that you're coming to fill up. Because you cannot just jump there and then, I have experience and I know this is what I'm offering to you. You must know what is missing. You must know what they have already and then know how to fill in the missing or the missing parts. And that's how you can deliver value. So this leads us to the term requirements. So I want to ask us on this call, anyone, can you just give me a layman's definition of what you think a requirement is? What is a requirement to you? What do you understand by the term requirements? Anyone? Can anyone hear me? Am I audible?
Yes, ma, you are audible, ma. You are audible. To my own understanding, at least simply put, a requirement can be termed a basic need or some need. Another word for requirement is need.
Oh, okay. If you say so, but I don't think it's the same. They are different in business analysis. But maybe in your layman's term, maybe they seem interchangeable, but not in business analysis. A need is that thing you are trying to meet up with, you are trying to rectify. While the requirement is like a broken down definite. A need is vague. A need is vague. But then when you talk about requirement, it is a specific thing that you use to satisfy that need. So requirements are like specific aspects. They're more um they are more broken down elements that we now use to address the needs. The needs can be high level and they can be vague. But by the time you break down these requirements, by the time you break down that need into smaller portions, smaller achievable portions, then they are requirements. So they are not exactly the same. Any other definition, any random definition, anyways, of what you think a requirement should be? Anybody? Anybody? I'm trying to check the chat room to see if anyone is dropping a message. Okay. I see someone saying it's what is essential to fulfill an objective. Yeah, we can say that. Any other person, I need one more person to unmute their mic and tell me what a requirement is to them. Ah, okay. Anyways,
Hello.
yes, please
Yeah,
go ahead.
sorry, today is Isaac. So I think for me, requirement means to me what probably a product meets my specification of it. Yes, I think somebody has said yeah, meets my specification. Sorry.
Sorry, needs are what?
What a product or services meet my specification.
Okay. All right. Anyways, according to business analysis, is the process of identifying, documenting, and managing the needs and expectations of your stakeholders in relation to a project or a solution. So it's the process of identifying, documenting, and managing those needs. As I said, they can't be used interchangeably. Needs are like, oh, these are the things that they want to improve on. These are the areas, the lapses, and the like. But the requirements is not that process of identifying. You are breaking down those needs now into specific, actionable items that will meet those needs. So it's the process of identifying, documenting, and managing the needs and expectations of the stakeholders related to a project or to a solution. So in this class today, we want to understand what it means to deliver requirements. We want to learn the steps that will help us move from an idea to a real working solution. Because many of us, we can imagine, you can imagine, oh, they already told you what the issues are in the organization. In your head, yes, you know the right way or what should be done. But when it comes to actually delivering it, are you capable of doing that? How are you able to translate this fantastic idea into a working solution that would meet those needs and that would deliver value? So we want to learn the steps, and then we want to see the examples from everyday life that can make this concept easy to remember. Also, we would identify the common problems and how we can avoid them. Then we'll also delve into delivering the business solutions. So walk with me on this journey. I hope my screen is moving. I hope you are seeing my slide changes. All right. So in delivering the requirements, so we want to use a very basic example. Imagine that you are ordering a cake, a custom cake. And now the baker is the project team. The project team that could consist of the front end, the back end, the testers, the QA, the business analyst, the project manager, the designer. So the baker or the company delivering the cake, the cake, they're like the project team. And then they turn your own order. Your own is that you need a cake. You need a beautiful cake for your birthday or for your graduation or something. So their own business is to turn that your own order. That's your own need. They will now turn it into requirements. They will now break it down. Okay, for this person that wants a red, round, 7-inch double layer cake, they will now turn it into requirements. They will turn this your order into a real cake. So in your head, you know what you want, you know what you want it to be like, but their own expectation is for them to translate it into a real solution, which is like the cake. So they would want to understand what you want, they'll be asking you several questions. How big do you want it to be? Is there a particular color? Do you have a design in mind? Do you want it to be vanilla? Do you want it to be chocolate? Do you want it to be red velvet? I'm a cake person, so yeah, I can relate so much. Then what inscription do you want on it? What type of icing, what type of covering do you want for it? So it's just the same way that a business analyst would also translate the needs of your stakeholders, turn it into requirements. It's their own needs. They are coming to tell you their own needs, but you will turn it into requirements. Requirement 1, it must have this. Requirement 2, their own need is you want a cake. So in an application development team, they want a solution that can automate our onboarding process, our HR onboarding process, instead of all those manual and written processes we used to do. We want a solution that would automate it. So they will just tell you their own need. Now, a business analyst will translate it into requirements, and that requirement would drive you and lead you into delivering a working solution, which in this example, the end result should be a real cake. A real cake with maybe your picture on top, with maybe red velvet or different flavors that you want. So it means you are turning a written list of needs into a working product, service, or process. So it is the doing part after the planning is done. Kindly help mute the person. So it is the doing part after the planning is done. So it's not enough for you to just conceptualize something or ideate a product or a solution in your head. It is also important that you turn it into a reality, into something that is achievable, a working solution that is delivering value. So why is it important? Why is it important to deliver your requirements? If you don't, without proper delivery, even well-planned ideas will fail. So with then the baker went ahead to actually create a wonderful cake. Can you still hear me?
Yes, ma. Yes, ma. I can hear you.
Yes, we can hear you.
All right. So imagine that the baker actually actually made or baked a very beautiful cake. But somehow, maybe they had used an ingredient that is not edible. No matter how beautiful it is, if it's not edible, what's the essence of that cake? I mean, you that you want a cake, you didn't order that cake because you want to just take. Yes, taking pictures is part of the deal, but if you cannot eat it at the end of the day, no matter how beautiful that cake is, it's going to be a waste. Except you just want a model, because I know that nowadays, especially for weddings, people just put a gigantic model cake that is not edible. But for someone that is ordering a cake that, oh yeah, the end goal is that I eat this cake and enjoy myself, but then the baker did not understand your needs. The baker just went ahead, made it beautiful, everything, but then it was just all this foam and all these products that they used to build it. You see that it's going to be a big it's going to be a big disappointment to you who wanted that cake. So a good delivery ensures that the final product works for the people who will use it. So if she had made a mistake, or the project team have misinterpreted your need, that, oh, you just want something fancy for the pictures, just for glam, but they didn't realize that you actually want to consume that cake, it would affect the delivery, and so it will not be fit for the purpose. And that's why in business analysis, whatever product or solution you are developing, whatever it is that you are suggesting or you're implementing, it must be fit to the organization's use. It must work in that environment. Another example is, you don't know who maybe the cake is actually for babies. They added alcohol, and it's not helpful for the children. So you must understand, it must be fit for the purpose. It might be a good idea, yes. The idea is that when you add alcohol to the cake, it makes it last. It's a preservative that makes it last, but it's not fit for the purpose because it's children that are giving this cake. So the same way project team too, you must understand the organization it is that requires this. That's why no two projects are ever the same. No two projects are ever the same. So it depends on the environment, like, you don't know the culture, the vision, the mission of that organization. So it must align with their own organizational rules. So that's why there's something called verification of requirements and validation of requirements. When you verify the requirements might be complete. All the, what's it called? All the components that are needed for that solution to work right might be there. It might be complete. In verifying requirements, the requirements are complete. Everything they want is there. But in validating, is it fit for use? Is it fit for the purpose for which it was created? So if it's not going to fit the organization, their own culture or their own environment, then you probably might have wasted your time and maybe your resources. So in planning, in doing a proper delivery, you need to put into consideration where exactly it is that you're delivering the solution to. So it prevents wasting money on things that nobody needs. It prevents wasting money on things that nobody needs. All right. So we have a delivery life cycle, the step-by-step process in a delivery system. First of all, you are approving the requirements. You are sure that everybody agrees, all the stakeholders, everybody agrees that this is what they want. Both your internal and external stakeholders agree and approve that this is what is needed. This interprets the needs of the stakeholders. Then you plan the delivery. You plan the delivery. In planning delivery, you are deciding who will do what and when. You want to assign responsibilities and tasks and timelines too. You assign responsibilities, assign tasks So for ownership of those processes, you give them timelines. Okay, this has to be completed when and in what capacity. Also the scope, you're planning the delivery. How many departments are going to be involved? How many personnel in the department are we interviewing? You want to understand who will do what and when. Who are going to be your respondents? Who should be the project manager? You want to determine all of this. Now, the third step is developing the solution. You're building it, you're fixing it, you're improving it. So maybe you're fixing, there is something that is not working well, there's a bug, you're fixing it, there's a process that you want to just improve. Maybe you're not totally changing the whole process, but you're just improving the process. Or maybe you're just building a new solution from scratch. Or you're just tweaking a solution to suit the organization. Whatever it is you are doing, you are developing a solution in that way. You're developing a solution that will meet their need, that will take care of that need. And then you validate the solution. Validate it, test to make sure it works as expected and that it fits the purpose for which it was expected. After you validate the solution, you now deploy, make it available for real use. Deploy it, make sure that it is working and that it is available for the users now. Then you will not just stop there after deploying the solution. Support. So that's just a simple breakdown of the delivery cycle. You are proving the requirements, you are planning the delivery, you are developing the solution, you are validating the solution, you are deploying the solution, and then you are monitoring and supporting the solution to ensure that it works well for the users and in the capacity that they want. Okay, so in planning the delivery, the first step, think of planning a trip. You choose the route, you book hotels, you set dates. So in delivery also, you create a timeline, you assign tasks, you gather resources. So an example of this is using Gantt charts, calendars, checklists. I mean, most of our project managers are very, very familiar with these terms. So you're creating like a tracker, you're creating like a calendar, checklist just to see what is being done at what time, maybe in each phase, how long should this phase last and all that. So that's these are some of the tools that we use. Your Excel comes in very helpful in this, maybe your Microsoft Planner, maybe your calendar and all that. So in our step 2 in developing the solution, like we said, is the building stage, you're making the actual thing. So it could be in terms of, it could be a technical or non-technical process. So in technical, it means you are probably building a new solution or you're deploying a solution, maybe a third party, you are implementing a third party application or you are building a solution from scratch. Or non-technical in terms that you're just probably improving a process or you are streamlining the process or you are just trying to make a process more seamless. So sometimes it's not really a solution. It's not until you introduce a technology into it before you're actually doing business analysis or making changes. Sometimes it's just their process that you need to refine. You just want to refine their process for them, make it more seamless, make it take out every ambiguity or unnecessary repeated process. Like I remember when I was in school and I needed to collect my certificate from school, I realized that the process of going to sign a document that will make them give me my certificate, it was unnecessarily long because it was a federal university. Just to make sure that, just to make it look like everybody is working. If you go and sign in front of this man, go and sign in front of this man, a very unnecessary process. And if you want to introduce a change now, you want to help them improve the process, I'm sure they will not take it easily, because I mean, they're elderly people, they've been doing it over the years. It makes them feel like they're doing something, but they're not doing anything. They're just taking a paper, the same paper. You still take it. Was a very unnecessary process. A very unnecessary process. So there are many repeated unnecessary processes in so many organizations. And as business analysts, if they will cooperate with you, your business is to actually improve their process, make it faster, make it more seamless, and remove every unnecessary part of it. So an example of this development solution is creating a new online payment system. You know, any process or any application, any solution that is going to remove unnecessary longer terms. So yeah, that's where the actual work is, in developing the solution. So the step 3 now, validating the solution. You test it before you release it. It's like testing a soup before you serve your guests. You will taste and ensure that, oh, the salt is not too much. Should I correct the seasoning? Should I add something? Is it well cooked and the likes? Should I add a little water to make it softer? So that's, in business analysis, it is user acceptance testing. So you align real users, try it first, and ensure that it works as they expect it to. It works the way they expect it to. So that's the user acceptance testing. You are sure that the users are comfortable. They like what they see. So let them test and try it first. So you're able to catch the problems early enough to avoid big failures later. So that's validating the solution. So you're making sure that it's fit for the purpose. So let the real process owners, the real users, let them test run it, and they're able to tell you if you need to improve on something, you need to add something, anything. So that's where the user acceptance testing comes into play. Now we come to our step 4, and that's our deployment methods. Deployment methods. So everything goes live at once. But then this is risky and quick. So most times now, our waterfall method of a methodology, project methodology. So we wait from it's usually until the end of the whole project before we are able to see what's the result of whatever has been built, on our agile, where you are releasing it in iterations, you are releasing small phases, and then they're able to test it. Imagine that you've built the whole application as in waterfall, and it's at the end that you now realize that no, this is not what we requested. Unlike in agile, when maybe when the landing page has been created, they show the customers, the stakeholders, okay, are you okay with how this landing page looks? Okay, we can fix this, we can add this, we can remove this, and then changes are made before you move on to maybe the next page, maybe the login page, maybe the payments page, all those things. So in phase out rollouts, which is like our agile, you are releasing in small steps, which is safer, but it takes a slower, it's usually slower, because I mean, you are taking feedback at every iteration, and then you are making changes, unlike you going ahead to develop the whole solution and then you now wait to hear your results at the end of the day. It is fast though, but then the risks are high. So in parallel, old and new systems run side by side for a while. So we have different delivery approaches. I mean, I've explained some of them. Waterfall, you are doing all the steps in order, no going back. In agile, small pieces are delivered often with feedback each time. Small pieces are delivered in different iterations, and then you're providing feedback, and then you're making changes before you're moving on to the next process. And then incremental, you are releasing parts of the solution one by one. In the V model, you plan the testing alongside building each part. Okay, So now, what's the business analyst role in the delivery? You're keeping track of requirements. You're making sure that they are all met. That's why you most times you document all your requirements in a requirements traceability matrix. So it captures all your requirements, captures the due dates, who is responsible for it, and all of that, so that you do not omit one of them, you don't forget one. So you're able to keep track of the requirements and you're able to see which ones have been taken care of. And then you communicate changes to everyone involved. You solve misunderstandings between technical teams and business users. So that's the role of business analysts in delivery of a solution. They're solving misunderstandings between the technical teams and business users. I must have emphasized in previous classes that you are the bridge between the business team and the technical team. You're able to speak part of the technical jargon and also able to understand the business ideologies. So you're able to translate the technical terms to the non-technical people, that's the business people, and you're able to explain and capture the business team's needs in a way that the technical team can also interpret or understand. So you're like that bridge between them. So, and duty to always keep checking, check and check to ensure that it's matching the original need. Also, scope creep. Scope creep, you're adding too many extra features. They asked you for a car, you're trying to build a car, and then you are bothering yourself with adding sirens. The person just wants a car that works, and then you're saying, which type of sirens should we add? Though? Let's add more sirens, more sirens. I mean, you've already lost track of what they asked you to do. So when you start focusing on the things that are not necessary. So, and that's why you should always prioritize your requirements. You know the ones that are so most times we use must have, which is must have. What are the must have requirements? What are the should have? What are the could have? And what are the not necessary? Would not have. Would not have. I don't know why a regular person's car should be worried about siren. So adding too many extra features that are not necessary, it could cause a scope creep. So these are some of the common mistakes. Then forgetting to involve users in testing. Forgetting to involve users, the owners of the processes, is a very big mistake. So they're not documenting the changes clearly. So these are some of the common mistakes. So what are the best practices? Use simple tools to track your progress. Ask users for feedback early and often. Explain changes in plain language and not technical jargon. Keep things visual. Diagrams help everybody understand. Use diagrams. Diagrams help people visualize what you're talking about. Or this is how the application will look like. This is where the login will be. This is where your picture will be when you click on this. So when you visualize, when you use diagrams, or maybe you use your BPMN to create a process flow. So they're able to understand, okay, so when this passes from here to here, then if it is yes, I don't know if you understand what I'm saying. So anyways, when you create a diagram, they're able to understand what you are saying before you actually develop the solution. So now, an example is a company asks, they need an app for tracking deliveries. In planning, you want to decide the features, choose the developers, you want to set a 3-month deadline. In building, the developers will create the app in different stages. In validating, you want to ensure that the delivery staff test it in one city. In deploying it, you roll out nationwide after fixing the issues, and then for support, you provide help desk for drivers. That's why in most applications, you see there are help desk or there are chatbots, something that would help you to use that application better. So it's a support. So you're meant to always provide support. Then, okay, so what are the things that we learned? It means that delivering requirements means turning ideas into reality, and then there are clear steps from planning to ongoing support. Then choosing the right approach and involving users is key to success. He who plans to fail, he who does not plan has already planned to fail. So you need to plan appropriately and then choose the right approach for you to have a successful delivery. So I want to rush through some of these other slides. Delivering the business solution. So we're trying to understand the role of a business analyst following the initial problem. After doing the problem investigation and definition of requirements, the business analyst is still involved in the whole delivery. A business analyst is involved in the whole delivery of the solution. So now I want to see the different stages of the business change cycle. These different stages of the business change cycle. We have the alignment, we have the definition, we have the design, the implementation, the realization, and all of this feeds into our business case. Our business case is like a document that shows a justification for why a change is being embarked on. Is a justification for why we are carrying out these projects. A company will not just wake up and say, okay, we have too much money, and then how do we just spend 25 million? How do we spend it? Where do we throw this money? So they have a reason. There is a justification for them spending that 25 million on maybe an application or a process improvements or a project. So these business changes, project is a means by which you introduce changes into an organization. Projects are the means by which we introduce changes into an organization. So whether it is a process improvement, an application deployment, or you're fixing something, it's usually a project because it's usually a short period of time, and then that's when that's the time that you use to make a change. So a business case is a document that justifies why we are embarking on this project. This is the problem we are trying to address, and these are the benefits that we want to realize. So it will capture the alignment, it will capture that it aligns with their organizational goals and their environment and their business strategy. And then the definition ensure that it captures all the needs, the design, the implementation, the realization. So all of this explains our business case. So alignment is concerned with ensuring that the organization's objectives and strategy are aligned with the external business world, and that any proposed changes would still align with the internal policies and architectures. I mean, that's what I've been saying, that whatever you're building must be fit for the purpose, must be fit for the organization's use, so it must align. Another stage is the definition, which is concerned with taking a closer look at the proposed solution to uncover the root cause of the problem. And for you to do this, you must conduct a thorough analysis and you must recommend relevant, achievable changes. So that means your requirements must be smart. That means it must be specific, it must be measurable, they must be achievable, they must be realistic, and they must be time-bound. So definition is concerned with ensuring that you know the real problem. Because imagine that you're introducing a requirement now, and then the real problem, you've not even found out what the real problem is. All right, okay. Then design is concerned with this detailed specification and development of the solution. So you are concerned with the detailed specification, the development and the testing of the solution, and all the business processes and related tasks, and the software that is needed to support them. So whatever, let's say you are what's it called? You're implementing a solution, but some of the solutions need to be hosted. Either they are hosted locally or they are hosted in the cloud. Then which one does it support? Is it are we using the Microsoft Azure to host the solution, or are we hosting it on AWS. So you need to just think of how everything will just fit into each other. The enterprise architecture will just fit into each other. All right. Then the implementation is concerned with the planning and preparation for the deployment of the business changes. So you're ensuring that everything for the deployments and for the deployments of the business change, is in order. Realization is that the review of the business benefits will be achieved. You're trying to ensure that the business benefits that you have envisaged from the start is actually realized. And then you want to take further actions that will support the achievements of those that are yet to be realized. So all these stages are shown in the life cycle as a sequence. So, for you to carry out a project, you need to put all of this into consideration. So, like we said, business analysis helps organizations implement change. And then we have different tools and techniques that help us achieve all of these. So now in the design stage now, like there may be a need for testing, extensive testing or piloting of the revised processes. And in the design stage, we could use some tools such as Figma, Figjam, what's this or that tool? Maybe Pencil as well. Okay, so I don't know. Let me talk about this implementation stage. So yeah, so the business analyst, like we said, helps in the business change lifecycle. So they're involved in the design stage, they're also involved in the implementation stage. So now in the implementation stage, we need to be very careful because like we said, we're introducing a business change and not everybody is always happy that we are embarking on a change. Man or human beings are usually resistant to change. Like human beings are resistant to change. They prefer the old way of doing things. This is how we've been doing it before we were born, and this is how we continue to do it. And that's why all these kind of changes, especially in public sectors, in federal governments or all the state governments, local governments, it's very difficult to really implement many of these changes. Like I was saying, when I just get my certificate in school, it was just unnecessarily slow. You have to take it to this person to sign. You still sign yes, this sign here on a sheet of paper. That paper, I'm sure they'll see it right away at the end of the day. So if you now come and say you want to make the process more streamlined, just from a click and all of that, you see that the people that would fight you. So it is a normal concept. People are resistant to change. So in extreme cases, if you allow this resistance, it would make your project fail. If you don't adequately plan for it, then the whole change program, which is usually a project, would fail. So the Sarah method sets out the emotional curve that affects anyone that is experiencing the introduction of business change. So we have the acronym SARA, the SARA model that shows the 5 stages of the emotions experienced when someone is faced with change. The first one is shock. Shock. Oh my God. Why? Why are we doing this? I don't see the need for this. Why? Like, it has been working well. We've been doing it this way, and nothing is wrong with that process. So that shock is the first reaction. So, like I said, most of the staff will feel like the organization is doing well enough. Why are they changing anything? Then the second reaction is anger. After the shock, then turns to anger. Why are we doing this? Like, who sent them now? They just want to waste money, this and that. they begin to understand what the change may mean for them. Some of them will now start feeling like, oh, they want to take our job from us. By the time you're introducing a software that would make it easier, oh, you want to make us redundant, you want to take our jobs from us. So it may be directed, this anger may be directed at the senior managers who have initiated the change, and also at others. For example, the business analysts or developers who are involved in bringing it about. Then the next reaction to expect is rejection. Rejection. Someone is angry about the change, then they want to reject the ideas and direction. You see some of them start telling you why this thing will fail. It will not work. It cannot work in this kind of situation. You see the hostility. You see the hostility and the rejection of all of these things. So you see them trying to avoid the change, or some of them will deliberately do things that will make it difficult. Maybe when you're interviewing them to understand, maybe they'll not respond well. See that rejection, even if they don't say it outrightly. You see from their maybe their mode of response, or you just see that they are not very comfortable with the idea. So they might be a sense of avoiding the change, and with desire for things to be left to continue as normal, because normally they just want things to continue the normal way. They don't want to start learning a new way of doing things. But now that means you now start teaching them how to use a new software, and then they're not ready for that. So after that, maybe you see that, well, the top management is serious with this change. Some of them might gradually, grudgingly begin to accept the change, but maybe not wholeheartedly. But then they don't really, at this point, they see that they don't have a choice, but then they start as so they have no choice, but then they now begin to accept it. Then after that, hope, okay, they now start seeing that, oh, well, it's actually faster. They begin to see the positive benefits brought about by the change. So a business analyst must be emotionally sensitive enough to be able to observe these changes. You must recognize these reactions and don't match their energy. Don't match their energy. You are there to actually bridge every sort of miscommunication or any sort of altercation. So you're not there to now start reacting based on their own actions now. So you must recognize these actions, and that these reactions are expected in those affected by business change program. So it is important to be sensitive to these reactions and try to help people move through different emotional changes. That's why sometimes when you are doing a requirement gathering for some people think you're auditing them. You are there to tell them that you don't know what you are doing. So that's what they think. So they have that defensive response. Their automatic instinct is to just resist, or to be defiant or defensive. So you are there to actually calm them down, make it lighter, make the conversation lighter. If it feels like it's too formal, it's too official, you can, like, just make it a little art lifting sort of, and make them feel like you're not here to auditing. You're not here to tell them that, oh, you don't know what you're doing. You say, yeah, what you're doing is very good already. We just want to help you make it easier for you, and just find a way to reassure them and make them feel comfortable with you. Otherwise, you will not get the information you need from them. So yeah, so also now let's continue in the realization stage. Benefits are only likely to be realized if they are well defined, and then if you plan for the delivery and they are properly managed. So a lot of thought goes into planning the projects, in delivering the solution, but sometimes we do not put enough focus into how the business benefits are to be achieved. So it is very essential that the comprehensive benefits plan is developed in addition to the business case. And so the business case must be managed throughout the business change life cycle, and ensure that all the benefits that you have highlighted earlier are really being realized. And anything that is obstructing it from being realized, then you begin to tick them off or improve on them and see how best you can improve the benefits. So management processes are needed to ensure that the benefits are reviewed in two circumstances. So scheduled reviews and unscheduled reviews. So for the scheduled reviews, at each of the decision gates in the project, the benefits should be examined as part of the review. So there should be a careful consideration as to whether the expected benefits are still available and whether they are sufficient to compensate for an increase in the expected cost in the project. So there should be scheduled and unscheduled reviews. So unscheduled reviews should be triggered when a significant event occurs that could potentially affect the expected benefits. So you should have different review programs with them to ensure that the benefits are being realized. So for the unscheduled reviews, when you see that there's something that could endanger the benefit realization, so be quick to bring it up, and there should be major requests for change. Maybe if you are seeing that a particular resource is not capable enough, quickly highlight it and note it and quickly call for maybe a change or something. Anything that will not make you realize all the expected benefits. So with this, I think that we have done justice to the topic of the topic that we addressed today, and that's understanding the requirements and then delivering the requirements, knowing what requirements should be and then delivering them. So I don't know if we have questions for us, contributions. In the next 1 or 2 minutes, let's wrap it up. So over to you, because I'm done here. Any contributions, any questions? Am I audible?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. If
Yes,
there is
you
no,
are very audible.
okay, thank you. So if there is none, I'll just hand over to Mercy, and thank you for having me. Thank you for being a part of this. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Christy. Please, if you have any question, feel free to ask. In the next 3 minutes, we'll be taking your questions. Okay, it means that I think we all understand what today's session was really all about. Okay, please keep your appreciation coming. Thank you so much. Thank you, Stephen. Okay, so in the absence of no question, I think we should appreciate our trainer for today. Thank you so much, Christiana, for an excellent delivery of today's class. Thank you, Princess. Thank you. Thank you for such an amazing time. It's always been amazing with you, so I am not mincing words. Thank you for joining us today. And to crown it all, we will be entering into our very last session of today's class.